year or 2 years
2
later?
years later. Yeah.
So what's different? How is this different for you? This is what, your 9,000th press event?
Yes, less nerve-wracking. Still very nerve-wracking, but not quite as much as 2 years ago when we weren't sure who was going to be selected. But still, the nerves were still there, and the tears, as you saw.
Yeah.
We tried. We made a promise to each other that we were going to try and hold it together as best we could, but no matter how wise we thought we had become in these past 2 years, it wasn't enough to just kind of stem those waterways.
What is your best advice to the incoming team?
Good question.
And you may have different advice. I'll let you do that separately.
We do. I would say take it all in. Absolutely. From this moment on, or rather 15 minutes ago when they were selected, their lives have changed for the next 2 years dramatically, and they're going to be partaking in a lot of really exciting events and meeting a lot of people, cast members, guests, people in the community. So really to take it all in, because if you're not present in the moment, you may forget some of those really amazing opportunities. So I would say take it all in.
And my advice is really to just jump in, feet first, into the deep end, start swimming, grab the experience and run with it, because it's going to go by so quickly, and at the end of 2 years, the last thing that you want to do is to think, I wish I had put a little bit more into it. Just dive in.
So you've got, 2 months more? Is that correct? What is the feeling now, kind of as you're moving forward and you're looking forward to the next 2 months, and then beyond that, where are you guys at?
Bittersweet. Bittersweet is the word. It's very sad, of course, to come to the end of such an amazing experience for the last 2 years. But we're excited for whatever new adventure comes along. We're excited to train the new team and get them set up for success. So there's a lot of emotions.
I think it's probably the same mix of emotions that we felt when we stepped into the role. We were very, very excited about it, not quite sure what it would all entail, but we knew it was going to be an adventure, and we knew that we're going to have a brand new adventure. Unfortunately, we just won't be able to be a team again.
We never know.
You never know.
So you mentioned the next 2 months, a lot of training. What goes into that training for the next 2 months? Obviously, they'll have Chalk Walk on Sunday with you guys.
Yes.
And then what's going on for the next 2 months?
So it's a lot of, they do that global training, which I mentioned at the ceremony. So all the ambassadors from around the world will come here the second week of November and train here for about 5 days. They'll head to Florida and train there and get to meet with each other and bond. And then it's really just getting to know their resort, getting to know our resort leaders, getting to know their cast members, learning more about their role specifically. They'll shadow us on a lot of our events.
We'll show them around. They'll basically follow us around for the next 2 months and kind of get an idea of who they'll be working with and what sort of events that they'll be doing specifically on a semi-regular basis.
I'm curious, where did you see yourself when you were in kindergarten and first grade? Because I'm a kindergarten teacher,
Okay.
so if you could go back in time and speak to your kindergarten and first grade self, what would you tell yourselves then? What would you tell the new students coming up in life?
I would say all of those ideas that you have in your head, even if you think that they're not related at all, if you think that they're all aspects of very different jobs, you can find them in one job, and you'll find it in a job at Disney.
That's funny that you say that. I have a journal from, I want to say it was first grade, and it was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I listed actor, dancer, singer, doctor, nurse, teacher, and maybe a couple other things. So it's funny that you say all those things can be found in one role. And this role especially as an ambassador, it's been so nice to have that variety of getting to be on stage and have that performance feel, getting to lead presentations like a teacher would, getting to really just connect with our cast members and be a friend.
Thank you.
What was the most surprising thing that happened over the course of the last 2 years? I'm sure there was expectations you had, and then things that you just didn't realize were going to be a part of the job, whatever. What really was that?
I think that this is true of anything, any project in Disney. When any film is released, when any new attraction opens, when any immersive experience is launched, there's a certain goal that those designers had in mind for that project and the effect that it would have on people. And the actual true effect that it has on people is something that you would never have anticipated. And that's been the same for the projects that we've been able to work on in our roles as ambassadors. We had a specific vision for what might happen, and then something completely different happened in it, and it turned out to be surprising and amazing in a completely different way.
I would say to that, and this has been my answer the entire 2 years, it was surprising to me, and it still throws me off a little bit, when you meet folks who are familiar with the ambassador program. You don't know them personally, but the esteem to which they hold the program. And it was a little uncomfortable. It still makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's about the heritage and what Walt started and what Jack Lindquist started and Julie Reed, the tradition that she started and that we've been fortunate to be a part of. People hold it to very high esteem, so it's nice to know that we get to be a part of that.
My last question for you guys is, you've got 2 more months in this. What are you looking to do? What are you looking to transition to? What role are you looking at moving into for the resort?
We both have a couple of leads in various segments of the company, and we're kind of narrowing them down. And so in the next few weeks, our next role should become a little bit more clear. Personally, I only had the sort of basic ramifications that I needed for a role were that I wanted to be creative, wanted to have my creativity valued, wanted to be able to use my creative writing skills or communication skills, and want to work as part of a team of people that love to collaborate together. And there are actually a lot of roles like that that are available within the company, so it's exciting to see what that might be.
And I think that's the beauty of this role, is you partner with so many different lines of business and you leverage these relationships to get to know what we do as a company even better, what we do as a resort, and then again as a company. So it's been nice to kind of figure out what those areas are, and my parameters, I would say, definitely fall in line a lot with what we do in the ambassador role. Variety, working on something different every single day, and definitely just being able to, I want to have fun. And you can't not have fun working for the Disney company, so that won't be hard. Right.
I guess my final question is, what one word, so this is a hard one, would you use to define your ambassador experience? I knew it was going to be hard, I'm sorry.
A lot comes to mind. Life-changing. Moving.
Thank you.
If your journey hadn't taken you to Disney, where would you see yourself going? What path would you have taken?
I would be a pass holder at Disney, that's for sure. I studied public relations, and I worked as an account manager, and that was fun, the varieties and the projects. And I would have ended up at, I know I would have ended up with a company like Disney in the sense that the brand means so much to its consumer, and that it brings a lot of joy to its consumer. I don't know what that is, but I know I find it.
I would have continued to follow my heart in every decision that I make. That's really how I make decisions. If it makes sense here, then I'll go for it. So I'm sure I would have gone on some interesting, crazy adventure.
You make me cry.